So this past season, one of the bucks on the top of the hit list was SK2. I called him that because he had a split brow and a kicker on his G2. So my uncle had access to bass fish this place. The farm had some big ponds on it, and he invited me out to come fish. I really liked the place, and we ended up actually rebuilding the bridge for the landowner. That turned into me fishing there a little bit more often. I built a relationship with the landowner, helping him with firewood. I was mowing grass. I don't have a ton of money to throw at property or leases. I'm about the most average blue-collar hunter there is. I definitely earned my keep there and turned into me hanging a tree stand there and putting in some really nice food plots. This property that I'm hunting has a really good mixture of timber, a lot of big ag, not a ton of bedding, and this was my first season hunting this particular farm, and I found out pretty quick that there wasn't a lot of bedding for the deer on this property. They were bedding on all the neighbors surrounding, and they were coming into this particular farm as a destination food source, typically late at night. And then out of nowhere, SK2 shows up, and he's got, you know, this crazy genetic rack. He's got a cool inside point, the kicker on the brow, you know, kicker off his G2, tight frame, but really heavy deer, and just a lot going on. And he definitely caught my interest quickly. Kind of figured he was a younger deer, so I didn't pay a ton of attention to him, but he was showing up more regular. And as the summer progressed and we're turning into fall, I started seeing him like pack on the weight, and I was like, man, you know, I think this deer's a little older than I'm giving him credit. So I'm finding out it's really difficult to hunt this food plot with the access. The house is really close to my food plot. I'd say probably 200 to 250 yards. Beginning of November's rolling around, I feel like I gotta be a little bit more aggressive. So one day, about high noon, I hop on the four-wheeler. I go back to the back of the property where, with a west wind, I have perfect access to hunt this pinch point where on the edge of this cornfield, there's a pond. Below that is a creek, and right in the middle is a land strip pinch coming out of bedding, and it's feeding over into the neighbor's big ag. I hung a camera there, and I had a lot of deer movement, and when I went to go hang the stand, lo and behold, Nighthawk steps up at like 30 yards. Leave the four-wheeler running, don't want to spook him too much, and he just kind of walks off. So the next morning I get in there, we got a good cold front, a perfect west wind for like 3-4 days straight. And I knew that was my opportunity. The first 2 days were like surprisingly slow, all day sits, extremely long days. No sign of SK2 or Nighthawk. And you know, I'm just really starting to second guess my whole strategy on this farm. I'm like, man, you know, there's something I'm missing here. You know, I'm not doing something right. So the morning of November 3rd comes around. It's a very cold morning. We're expecting a little warm up in the temperature. I got the perfect west wind. The 4th, it's supposed to switch. It's gonna be a straight north, and that's just not gonna work. The whole morning, you know, it was slow, just a couple does feeding in and out. It was a long afternoon, but I sat through the whole day. As evening comes around, see deer funneling through, and then as it gets closer, you know, to that prime time, I hear, you know, some commotion off to that bedding area where I expect them to funnel through this pinch point. I picked up the extinguisher, I threw out some grunts, and about 10 minutes later, what I completely was, you know, is unexpected was SK2 had worked his way right behind me. So him coming behind me was just like a total wild card. The deer couldn't have been any more downwind, a straight west wind blowing right into that deer's face, but he couldn't smell me and he couldn't figure me out. So I stand up with every intention of stopping him, you know, vocally. So self-filming, you know, I'm trying to get my camera turned on and get stood up. I'm trying to range him. I'm trying to dial my HHA in. As I pull back, my arm hits my harness, makes a little noise, and he stops on his own. and I let it fly.
Whew. Man, that's SK2. I've been watching him since summer. Dandy buck, I ain't seen him in a while. That sucker came downwind of me, man. And that's just a testament to Faye's product right there. That is a mature buck and just walked right downwind of me. And I apologize, but he walked out of frame, as you could see, right at the end, and I had no idea. And I freaking pinwheeled him, man. He went about, I don't know, 35 yards and piled up, so. Yes. Gosh, I'm pumped, man. Bow hunting is my favorite.
Arguably, the most important key to this hunt was low impact approach to this farm. You know, I kind of worked my way from the front of the property to the back, let the cameras do the work. Another key to the hunt was scent control. You know, him working downwind, you know, things don't always go accordingly, and it didn't. He ended up completely downwind with a face full of my scent that he just couldn't determine what it was. The phase saved the hunt.